grinding every day. Long hours, no backup, no accountability. That ends now. The Empower Solopreneur Mastermind gives you one simple advantage: a weekly power session that turns isolation into domination. Every Friday morning on Zoom, you'll get real coaching and real feedback to make real moves. Join a group of driven professionals in a program designed for solopreneurs and people working at home. Stop getting stuck. Start scaling. Seats are limited. Lock in yours today at modernobserver.com/empower-mastermind.
The Brown University shooter found. Trump reclassifies marijuana. The long-awaited Tik Tok deal moves forward, and more. Welcome to the Raw Naked Truth. I'm your host, Eric Lopkin, and here's the news you need to know. The suspected Brown University shooter was found dead, authorities say, following a manhunt that began after a masked gunman killed 2 students and wounded others in a university lecture hall on Saturday. Police said yesterday they had found the body of the suspected shooter in a New Hampshire storage facility. He was also the suspect in the murder of an MIT professor in his home on Monday. Providence's chief of police identified the suspect as Claudio Neves Valente, a 48-year-old former Brown student, and said he had died by suicide. President Donald Trump signed an executive order Thursday directing federal agencies to reclassify marijuana, loosening long-standing restrictions on the drug and marking the most consequential shift in U.S. cannabis policy in more than half a century. The order, once finalized by the Drug Enforcement Administration, moves cannabis out of Schedule I classification, the most restrictive category under the Controlled Substances Act, alongside heroin and LSD, to a Schedule III classification, which encompasses substances with accepted medical use and a lower potential for abuse, such as ketamine and Tylenol with codeine. This action has been requested by American patients suffering from extreme pain, incurable diseases, aggressive cancers, seizure disorders, neurological problems, and more, including numerous veterans with service-related injuries and older Americans who live with chronic medical problems that severely degrade their quality of life, Trump said from the Oval Office on Thursday. The Trump administration has announced a massive package of arms sales to Taiwan valued at more than $10 billion that includes medium-range missiles, howitzers, and drones, drawing an angry response from China. The State Department announced the sales late Wednesday during a nationally televised address by President Trump, who made scant mention of foreign policy issues and did not speak about China or Taiwan at all. The tension between the U.S. and China, the world's 2 largest single economies, has ebbed and flowed during President Trump's second term, largely over trade and tariffs, but also over China's increasing aggressiveness towards Taiwan, which Beijing has vowed to reunify with the mainland. President Xi Jinping has not ruled out the use of force to make that a reality. If approved by Congress, it would be the largest ever U.S. weapons package to Taiwan, exceeding the total amount of $8.4 billion in U.S. arms sales to Taiwan during the Biden administration. A jury found Milwaukee County Judge Hannah Dugan guilty of obstructing federal immigration agents during an attempt to serve a warrant at a courthouse earlier this year. She faces up to 5 years in prison on the felony obstruction count. Dugan was arrested in April after helping Eduardo Flores-Ruiz avoid plainclothes immigration and customs enforcement agents who were trying to serve him a warrant. Prosecutors said Dugan helped Flores-Ruiz and his attorney exit her courtroom through a back door on April 18th after learning that ICE agents were in the building to arrest him. Chinese TikTok owner ByteDance signed binding agreements Thursday to sell over 80% of TikTok's U.S. assets to American investors, ending years of fighting over China's influence on the popular social media platform. Under the agreements, Oracle, Silver Lake, and Abu Dhabi's MGX will collectively own 45% of the new TikTok joint venture, with existing ByteDance investors keeping about 30% and ByteDance retaining nearly 20%. The deal, set to close January 22nd, requires the U.S. owners to retrain TikTok's algorithm using only American user data to prevent outside manipulation by China. The sale allows 170 million U.S. users to continue scrolling while addressing concerns that first emerged when President Trump attempted to ban the app in 2020. That's the Raw Naked Truth for December 19th, 2025. You can catch every episode of the Raw Naked Truth Daily News Brief, as well as our sister podcast, Carnivore Radio, with news analysis and commentary, and the rest of the Xvadio Podcast Network at xvadio.com, the Apple Podcast app, YouTube, Rumble, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Audible, Amazon Music, and other platforms that respect freedom of speech. We'll see you next time.